What's up everyone, this is Leviathan. I'm back with some more CK3 content. This time I'm playing out of the region of Northwest Africa, in between modern day Morocco and the Western Sahara. So I want to play as the Lamtuna dynasty, which is a kind of tribal group among the Berber culture. And so the character that we're starting with, who is not historically that renowned, Emir al-Athir ibn Batin of Adrar, is someone who, is chronicled but not kind of a major historical figure. But the Lamtuna are. These are kind of major tribal groups, part of the Butr or culture, which is part of the larger Berber group. And the Berbers are often distributed, I will show you, in North Africa and in the Saharan region. As you can see here, there are the Baranis above here, and they're all part of the kind of larger societies, it's this larger cultural group of the Berbers rather, and they're indigenous to that region. Now, obviously they have different customs pertinent to each region, and their dialects are sometimes so drastically different that they could be mutually incomprehensible. What I like about this start is, in fact, I'm trying to kind of replicate a historical moment. For those of you who know the Almohads, or in Arabic as they're called Almohadun, or those people who follow the unity, or stress the unity of God, which is a central, Abrahamic doctrine, of course, and the idea that there's only one God. But this group puts a lot of emphasis on it, and the Almohads were basically a group that were born out of this region here, and they were supported by the Masmuda Berber Confederation. So there were many confederations in these areas that formed around smaller tribes, and they became larger units. So they were basically a Puritan movement that initially stemmed from Sunni tribes that had developed a more let's just say stringent conception of religion, and they were renowned for their expansion. They started off as tribal groups, and then they managed to take over North Africa, and particularly Morocco, and made their way into Andalusia. So they're very renowned and notoriously known for their intolerance and their destruction to culture and civilization, especially when they came to Andalusia, and they kind of once they ruled, there was a setback to the sciences and toleration between different faiths. So they're definitely a problematic entity, but also very historically relevant because of their kind of their force, right? Starting off as kind of people in the peripheries rather, and then making their way into Andalusia, right? Or not peripheries, but I mean they were kind of isolated in these desert conditions, and then they became really powerful. So I find them very fascinating. So how do you create the Almohads? Well, it's considered a religious group. I'll show you that has its own kind of interpretation with its own tenets. So you would have to convert to it. Otherwise, if you don't convert into it, then at a certain point they will rise during the historical period when they did rise in this game. That is, it's in the 12th century. They were founded by a certain Ibn Tumart, who is an intellectual and their ideological kind of thinker, and then they basically continued on into the 13th century until their demise. And again, I kind of want to replicate this start, except it's much earlier for us. It's in 867. So if you never convert to Almohadism, someone or an event will happen, and I've seen it happening, where they will come out. And so I will show you. They are here. You would have to convert. Literalism is their first tenet, which means that there's a value on intellectualism or intellectuality, and you get +1 piety if you have any of those following traits of virtues. Astute, intellectual, mastermind, philosopher, scholar. So you will focus on learning, of course. Struggle and submission is the second one. If one exists, the head of faith can declare a great holy war when the faith has high fervor. If no head of faith exists, adherents gain a bonus to the convert faith in county councilor task per controlled holy site. Piety and devotion from winning holy wars is increased by 50%. Characters of this faith gain an additional bonus upon the successful completion of a pilgrimage. And then at peace opinion comes with more warmonger. So you get at peace opinion instead of offensive war opinion, so you better go to wars. Rulers have a conquest casus belli against neighboring rulers, so that's perfect. Prestigious rulers can use an invasion casus belli once per lifetime. So you take large kingdoms. If one exists, the head of faith can declare great holy wars, provided this faith is organized. Members of the clergy can serve as commanders or fadis, which is the equivalent of a knight. So convert to faith, we would need this much piety, which we're far away from, but we can make this better by, we're going to go for learning, focusing on becoming an apostate. Different faith opinion, and then minus 75% conversion cost. So we're going to convert to that. So let me just read you the description that the game has here for Almohadism. It's a reformist branch of Sunni Islam. So you are Sunnis, they were initially Asharis, and that originated with the Berber tribes in northern Africa. The Almohadi movement saw themselves as Unitarians and preached a doctrine of purified monotheism. So obviously, Abrahamic religions are monotheistic, but this one is, the particular emphasis on that, and the particular emphasis on standardizing every facet of life. And so we're going to try this out and see what happens, right? So currently, let me show you the kind of current state of affairs. We're Ashari, which is the kind of main branch of Sunni Islam, and then you can see here it's, dominant in the Near East or the Middle East, and the Caliph of the Asharites is also the head of the Abbasid dynasty, and so he's an emperor. He has the emperor tier clan, and look how much territory he controls. And so then you get more Asharis too. For example, here in Egypt, you get some in I think among the Saffarids are Asharis, and so are the Tahirids. And so there's we have Ashari neighbors here, such as this fellow Butr, clan member, or rather not clan member, he's his own tribe member under the Ghazula tribe. So that's another Berber tribe. You got the Lamta here to the north of us. So we're kind of, we're still a dominant force. We're one of the most powerful religious groups thus far, but I'm going to break away by forming that Puritan group. So the beauty of becoming Almohad is actually that I can become a caliph, because currently right now the Asharis have their own caliph. It's a Sunni Caliphate, and you can see here it's the Caliph Al-Mu'taz ibn al-Mutawakkil, who is the Caliph of the Ashari world. So he's our head of faith, but why not become my own head of faith, right? So that's essentially what I'm going to do when I convert, right? I'm going to become my own religion, my own head of faith, because there is no one who's an Almohadi yet, and no one holds the position of Almohadi head of faith. So we got that advantage. And so we begin with pumping into the army. So let me put in some knights. Let me see what the fattest situation is, the knight situation. 120% effectiveness. Before I do anything, why not get camel riders? They're good in deserts and in dry lands and in oases and in floodplains. They're bad in hills. They're bad in desert mountains. They're bad in mountains, and they're bad in wetlands. We would have to cross this. I'm going to get them. Because, look at the land here. It's quite flat. Right? And so the goal here is to kind of capture all of the north and eventually go into Andalusia. That's my objective. So I'm going to start investing into men at arms, which is always necessary, of course. Bowmen are good in desert mountains and in hills, and okay, so we will get bowmen as well, and maybe pikemen. Okay, so I'm basically increasing my troop size by doing that, and I'm putting in some kind of professional army. Now, I'm not married, and that's what we're going to start off with. We're going to see what sort of alliance we can get. With this sheikhdom, perhaps, she is, let's see, stubborn, lazy, vengeful, and an adequate bargainer. What about her? What does she get us an alliance with? Okay, so greedy, craven, sadistic. I mean, let's go for the first one here. We need alliances. And I got a child, so I can perhaps marry him too. With Miyasa bint Mazir. Okay, so she's also a fellow Butr, but of a different religion or faith of it within Islam. And then we got the Idrisids to their north, who are kings, you know, and they're actually historically renowned. They're powerful. They are followers of the Zaydi faith, which is a sub-branch of Shiism, or Shia Islam. So we could probably wage holy wars against them. Let's see what the Canaries has. Okay, so they have a member of a Baranis Berber group, and they're actually not Muslims. So emphasizing they follow Sigwism. Emphasizing harmony and balance, adherents of this native Mande faith revere the twin offspring of Amma, known together as the Nunmo, who were seen as two parts of one complete perfect being. So there are obviously different non-Islamic faiths around us, especially if we go south. Now would be in West Africa. We're not really going to focus on this region here. I did a playthrough, with the Mother of Us All. That was an awesome one. I encourage everyone to try it out with Darama of Dara, and it was. It's right here. This is the start. You start off with these two counties, and but now it's my first time really focusing on North Africa as a distinct playthrough in Andalusia, and see where this goes, see where this takes us. And so obviously, look at us. We're short on money, and so we're gonna have to fix that situation because we need maybe mercenaries at some point. I'm gonna start teaching my son martial education. There's another thing I needed to mention is that, again, and I did mention this, but I'm going to mention it again, we're tribal. We aim on capturing clan or sedentary areas. So eventually, once I reach Andalusia and I become a larger empire, I would want to actually feudalize in the long run. And this is something I always talk about. What's, better, right? The question, tribalism or clan when you're Muslim, or when you're playing part of the North African groups, or when you're playing part of the Arabs, or if you're playing in Persia. You speak of clans when they sedentarize. In Western Europe, Central Europe, it's feudalism, and so it's the same thing in India. So the question is, what's better, sedentary or nomadic, right? Sedentary or tribal. I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you really want to quickly blob in the early game, obviously tribal. But in the long run, if you want to build foundations and if you want to progress culturally, especially if you want to play up until the late medieval period, of course, it would be better and wiser to choose to become sedentarized, to become a clan or feudal, because you get some building types that are awesome. And then eventually, culture-wise, you stop progressing if you remain at tribal and everyone's at late medieval and they're building cranes, they're building bombards, they're building standing armies, or sappers, and you have all these things, and then otherwise people, and otherwise you're behind and you're sticking to that tribal thing, you will see a difference. And so there are pros and cons, right? You do lose that levy size when you become feudal or clan. Okay, so these guys stole our fight. Let's go here then, maybe. I want to attack these guys. We're here to take money too. We're basically going on a raid. And the raids are so overpowered. It's so nice to play as a as a tribe in the beginning, or not as a tribe, yeah, as a tribal government. For that reason, you just farm prestige, right? But later on, you know, you can make prestige by having good buildings and good holdings. Okay, so we have a daughter. Praise Allah, Taunat has given birth to a secret little daughter who will become, or perfect, I read secret. Perfect little daughter, oh my god. Who will you become, my child? And what shall I call you? Let's just... Okay, alright. Uza. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. This is a... It sounds like a Berber name to me. Okay, so... Let's see. We're carrying 18 ducats worth of loot. We'll bring that back home. I mean, I should stay perhaps to the... on the coastline. Mufti Yugurthen often quotes passages from the Quran about the holy virtues. I should prove I have paid attention by quoting a passage of my own, preferably one which complements his personality. I will memorize and recite a section on moderation. Or fairness? Moderation? I think it's all the same thing, really. So I gained piety. Okay. And so these crushing defeats for them are just only giving us, you know, further piety. So let's see. These guys are really weak. Maybe we can kind of go and raid them here, and they're on the coast, so we won't suffer penalties, right? And when I mean penalties, I mean we won't face attrition, right? Look at us. To the loathsome Amin al-Athir, I have been corresponding with your Chancellor Maisad, and it has been a shameful diplomatic display. You are not the man I thought you were. Oh, that's too bad. Let's get her to assist us on Marshall, the wife. Now we got 2 daughters. May you grow strong and wise. Alright. Don't forget we get secondary spouses because of the polygamy. But I want to keep that off for now. So we're gonna focus here on pedagogy, which will mean that our wards can get additional skills and can become your friends. Okay, but again, I want to go for apostate. This person is proposing an alliance. Sure, I mean, why not? Let me see where he is. He's to the south of us, and he has a sizable amount of levies, but that's, yeah, and he has 6 champions. He has Sahel horsemen, light footmen, and pikemen. So he's been investing. So it's a good alliance to have, just in case something happens. Again, my focus is more to the north, but if I can secure my southern frontiers, that would be nice. From all my evening watching stars, I've seen with my own eyes what I have already heard of before. The stars move at different speeds and reverse their course at different times, but seemingly in large groups, depending on which celestial sphere they belong to. Indeed, with the right calculations, one could even predict their movement. My mufti does not approve, of course. Leave the skies be. The celestial realm is for clergy to know. I will find my answers in the heavens. Sorry. And that gives me insight into the heavens. And, you know, you get a boost to your prestige, too. So, let's do that. I'm going to bring back the gold that I'm carrying. It's been a long journey. And so, my mufti, Yugurthen, approaches me with a pile of books in his arms. I have noticed your thirst for knowledge, my liege, especially your recent ventures into matters relating to learning. Perhaps those books might interest you. Yes, I will study it all in the name of the Quran, or distribute them among my courtiers. Prestige would be nice. One more battle here, yes. Okay, so that's a victory, and that means we go back home. So we got a vassal here, I think, or no, it's a peasant rabble that's about to go on a revolt. So apparently they're not far away from doing so, or a long way from doing so. So 64 ducats is what we bring back. Let's disband and then wait for our army to revive a little bit. And anytime the peasants will try to revolt, we of course will not permit them to, and we'll raise the army very quickly, crush them before anything happens. So we captured the male factor here, and we could execute him for some dread because he's his own leader. No one's gonna want him for any ransom. And then let's wait for us to get back the the army, right? Let me see here. We get one more regiment. Light footmen. These guys would be good in plains. I mean, we got pikemen, bowmen are always good. And so we're going to invest in bowmen, and I think I'm going to boost the camels. It's always nice to invest in men-at-arms. Now you see, I'm taking a hit to the prestige, but it's not that bad because I'm going to farm for prestige. I'm always going to be fighting anyways. Stone of glass. As I struggle to make out the tiny letters of the scroll before me, I feel a headache building once again. Why do scribes insist on writing such small symbols? I squint and try. Nothing short of a miracle with the aid of a stone of glass. Even old men struggling with bad eyesight could read with ease. Yugurthen, I would require your assistance. So I would gain 300 learning lifestyle, or I need one of those stones. You gain... Maybe I will get him to have a hook on me. It's not the end of the world. Of all the buffoonery I have ever seen in Mysar's inane efforts to improve my relations with my neighbors, my good-for-nothing chancellor has officially acknowledged Damondiabe's claim to the chiefdom of Amatlus. So, okay, so thank you, idiot. That is not what we needed, but anyways. So my chancellor took it upon himself, I think, to mess things up. So, anyways. I want to subjugate these people. Once we're distinguished, we will. So maybe we should go back and haunt them. We have allies. I'm going to put this here. Raid. In fact, wait a second. Can't raid my allies. Can I mess with Ghana? No. They're pretty powerful. So let's go back on the coastline and see what we can do. Maybe we can kind of mess with the Idrisids. The Idrisids are probably powerful. Oh, I mean, they're getting destroyed. Look at that. Really early on. Defending against, invasions or conquests, and defending against a holy war. So they're being attacked. I mean, they're a minority here in terms of their religious beliefs. So the age of the world. I have been studying the ancient religious texts and the writings of scholars, and they all seem to agree that the world will end 6,000 years after its creation. By my calculation, we are less than a century away. However, my mufti, Yugurthen, urges me to keep it to myself, leave it to the clergy, and avoid panic. What if your calculations are wrong? Everyone deserves to know the truth, a reasonable point. I should consult with more imams. Well, I need the prestige, like I said, so I'll go for the first option, or that option that gives me the most prestige. Visions of the divine. I beckon my mufti, Yugurthen, to join me in the circle of brass orbs and candles arranged on staves throughout the dark room. The incense cloying the air to ward off the bad vapors makes your eyes tear up a little in a little time. This is how, through the corner of our eyes, we'll spot the inscrutable form of angels. However, Yugurthen soon takes pause. This feels wrong. These are divine beings, not meant for mortal eyes to see. You can leave, but one way or another I will know. Yes, it's a fool errand if it's not a sin in itself. Alright. Let's go raid. Stick to the coastlines and you should be good. In Sheikhdom of Wadan, they believe in Sigwism and they do not pray to Allah. Mufti Yurgithan condemns it as heresy, but the people ask for understanding. Maybe let's... they will pray to Allah. Maybe we should start with the conversions here. I think this is where it is, yeah. Take advantage of that. I mean, we're gonna convert anyways, so is it really the end of the world? Okay, so apostate is what we're gonna go for very soon. Okay. This is awesome. This is a great raid here. And we captured a prisoner. Let's see if we can ransom them for 10 ducats. Why not? Anything would be nice at the moment. So, that was a crushing defeat. Oh, let's fight these guys. As they ran away. Okay, so this is perhaps the nicest time to attack. They have more soldiers, better army commander, more men at arms counter. No, apparently we would lose this way. So let's put Abdul Karim and see. So we win. That's a victory for us, and the details here. And we countered them twice with the camel riders and with the bowmen. So ultimately, I mean, we lost 12 pikemen. It's not the end of the world. And we're almost distinguished. Maybe we should look at the Umayyads. They're already fragmented. So for those of you who know the history, I think we're going to lose this. Yeah, we are. But good thing is, I mean, we lost the money. That's not a good thing. But the good thing is that we did get we're closer to distinction, to distinguish. Maybe we can win this battle here. So one of my commanders is injured, severely injured. And he has an infected wound here. This one. I think there was a death. This is terrible. He died from his internal injuries. So who can we... Oh, look at that. I think we should invite a Faris. Okay, so we are doomed here. There's nothing that can be done. Okay, so unfortunately, the raid didn't go too well. But I think we can convert. And that's what I've been trying to do here. So I'm not terribly bothered by what happened or by what transpired, because what I want to do is convert, right? So let's look at the other phase. Finally, I think we can convert to almohadism, and our only vassal would accept it. And so here we go. We've converted faith. So conversion. With my decision to convert to almohadism, I arranged for an imam to come to my court and conduct the rites. With the fate of my immortal soul in question, I can only pray that I have made the right decision. Metaphysics aside, I can take comfort in knowing that the majority of my realm stands united under Allah, a true Almohadi realm. Glory to Allah. And so, no immediate effects. My recent endeavors within the realm of theology has given me a greater appreciation for Allah's representatives on earth. Trying to express some of the feelings, I will draft a letter to Caliph Al-Mu'taz. I sit down with a scribe. He's no longer my Caliph though, because I just converted. Let's go for clear rationality. Talk about that. Praise God. And so he has a higher opinion of me now, by virtue of that letter. So I keep getting crushed here. I should... Yeah, we're doomed. Ransom. They have my son and they want 100 ducats. I don't have that money just yet. Sorry, we'll hold that off. But we'll see. We might get him later. So it's my son and heir, and I refuse to get him back. But anyways, let's disband and see what we can do with these guys. Maybe we can subjugate. We can perhaps conquer this county and then later subjugate these folks here. I shall see. But let me start off with, you know, getting the army back. Now we're being called to war. So this guy is coming far from home, and he's coming to our court, and his name is Bomu, and he has traveled far and wide and seen many things, but he's wary on the road. I will let him into the court as long as he embraces the religion. So let me take the rally point far away here. So what is this war about here? So we're on the attacking side, and what are we trying to accomplish exactly? I'm not sure. But it's just to kind of shake them for... Okay, so this is it. They're trying to get this here. So I think that was perhaps too premature of him to do. But we will wait. Okay, so they lost already. Oh my god, he got destroyed. Tamim comes of age. I am proud to see my son no longer as a child but as an adult. For the longest time I was hoping that good tutelage would be enough to teach Tamim the intricacies of warfare. Too bad he's in jail. I'm going to try to bring him out later. Let's see. We got our daughter here. We can get an alliance with this dynasty here, but it's not much. Let's hold it off just for a little bit. I think I'm going to go on the attack here. I'm thinking subjugation would be nice. But then again, why would I use subjugation when I can just get a county and subjugate those guys later on? So I'm just going to go for the county here. They're considered to be inferior, and that's fine. I will perhaps call this guy to help me, although he's not a fan apparently. So if we send him a gift, he will be down to join, and then I ask him to join, and then we will waste what, 75 prestige, and that's not much, right? So, and he accepted the invitation to the war, and I'm gonna slow things down now because things are getting serious. Oh my god. These people are always stealing our thunder, huh? What are they fighting them for? Oh, they're just raiding them. Okay, cool. I thought there was going to be some sort of epic battle there. Didn't really happen, but... And they didn't even get their allies on their side, so it's just essentially us against them. And finally, we're coming out of this landlocked situation, and we're going to have some coast, you know? Anyways, let's write about moderation again. Get that piety going. Maybe I should speed things up a little. To the vile Emir Al-Athir, I have been corresponding with your chancellor, Maysar, and it has been a shameful diplomatic display. Wow. My chancellor is really bad, huh? I mean, look at that. That makes sense. Let's put someone who's a little bit more competent in that position. Okay, so I swapped them. Okay, so I gotta be careful here because apparently I'm not strong enough to face them. So maybe we can stick around here till our allies got defeated. And we got a daughter now. The thing is about our allies is that they're... Okay, we had recruited this before. We had sought these guys out before. Thing is about our allies is that they're perhaps not as strong as these guys. They seem to have a pretty... Okay, they have a really good commander. That makes absolute sense. Look at that. Your commander, Captain Kutaiba. Yeah, so martial skill plus 16. He does not back down. So it kind of, makes sense why they're so dominant, right? I mean, what's our knight situation? 110%. It could be higher. Look at the Idrisids broke apart. Now I'm a little bit worried that these guys might come and haunt me now. So we might as well just finish the siege quickly. They're coming towards us. But if we can at least defeat them here. Okay, let's see if my allies will be open to joining this time. Okay, so we are outnumbering them, and now we have the advantage. We have more army commander traits. Okay, we're the better side. That's clear. But this is they're a pretty powerful force too. We look at that, 26. Okay, so it's a victory, and we win. Malu, a commoner, was slain during the battle, or Mullah, of Zammur. So we're gonna take the county, and that's gonna be my new county here. So I'm thinking of granting this to someone, or it's a market. It's my tribe holding. Maybe I should keep this holding. Maybe I should keep this holding because of the market here. Development, I mean, the development is not great almost everywhere you go, but you get a kind of new duchy building here. You get, it's popular opinion is low, but that's because it's just got conquered. Maybe I'm gonna grant this holding to a powerful faddist of mine. Let's do that. Also has the same religion and same culture, so we get to keep Zammur. Now I was thinking of subjugating Tinduf, but they're already they fragmented, so that kind of sucks. Now I can usurp the kingdom title here. Let me see. And create the kingdom of the kingdom of Anvia. But I only have 5 of the 6 de jure counties, and I require a second duchy. All right, we can pull that off. I said usurp. We can create this kingdom. So let's see. What would I need for that? Okay. Then let's take this next county. Vastly inferior. Maybe wait till we heal, till our military comes back to normal. Okay. Recruit this guy to court. No, let's not waste money. What's happened to our son? Let's see. He's still jailed. He's still in prison. Right? And where is he imprisoned? He's imprisoned with our... Hold on. Imprisoned by Nyangume Yeah, why do you have to got? Okay, so, I mean, hopefully he can release him on some good terms, but I think I should have just, maybe I should have just subjugated these guys. It's alright. We can do it later on, maybe, but, or we can subjugate someone else to the north as well. Well, these guys are not actually tribal. You can only really subjugate tribal folks. So let's just go for a county here. And I think I'm going to pump some money into gathering halls. Or, yeah, so we're going to pump some money into gathering halls for plus 100 levies and prestige. So build up the realm, basically. This is good. We're also finally winning battles that we're fighting battles that we can win decisively. Decisive victories are always nice. Let's see. %. That gave us some nice fame. We're illustrious. I can ransom this little boy here. I can create the duchy of Zammur. Praise Allah. Tumart has given birth to a perfect little son who will become my child. And what shall I call you? Speed it up a little bit. Staring at stars. From all my evenings watching stars, I have seen with my own eyes what I have only heard of before. The stars move at different speeds and reverse their course at different times, but seemingly in large groups, depending on which celestial sphere they belong to. Indeed, with the right calculations, one could even predict their movement. My mufti does not approve, of course. Leave the skies be. The celestial realm is for clergy to know. Now, there's a crusade that's brewing here. It's probably going to be for Jerusalem. That doesn't really concern us right now. And so, speaking of which, to become the head of faith, I would require 2 of our holy sites, and luckily they're in the Maghreb, so I don't have to go to, to Jerusalem or Mecca to have these holy sites, although they are there as well. And then there's obviously Jerusalem. Let me see what you get out of controlling this. Cultural fascination progress plus 10%, and the holy site at Tin Malal is prowess per level of devotion plus 1 and maximum battle roll plus 4. That's awesome. So they're martial related. So now we're passing through these little passages here. These desert passages. Outliving a child. My son Tamim has died. I neglected him. I thought I was too old to be surprised by the cruelties of this world, yet I never saw or foresaw having to experience the death of my own son at the hands of... Okay, so he killed him. It is my hope that he is now spared the suffering he must have endured. All because I didn't want to pay 100 ducats. I let my son die. What a terrible father. I mean, we have one son now. He was a lunatic, though. He was reckless. He's good. He's not a bad soldier, but lazy, paranoid. Not the greatest character, actually. And so this son is going to be inculcated into martial skills. We'll find him a temporary, alliance right now. Obviously, I'll break that betrothal later on, but it'd be nice to get him, a temporary alliance again. So where would these guys be? Here. No, I kind of want to subjugate these people, so I don't want an alliance with them. But alright, so my son basically was left to be killed on the orders of his captive. Chiefdom of, okay. Maybe I can afford to give my daughter I will give her a non-matrilineal marriage just so I can get an alliance here with somebody. So the alliance is in Andalusia. We begin to make our first contact with the people we want to invade. So let's end this war here very soon. There we go, that's done. It's 100% war score. We can disband very soon. I'm gonna give this guy, I'm gonna give him this newly acquired sheikhdom here. And who knows, maybe I could actually, or I should actually vassalize these folks. Or not vassalize them, but subjugate them. It would cost me 500 levies though. And for that, I think it's time that we actually focus on the marshal and get Balam Justum here for the Casus Belli costs. And so, look at us. We're making significant progress still. But it would be nice to have a bit more prestige, right? So I'm gonna go on raids, and this time I hope to God that this raid won't end up like the last, right? Where we got severely crushed. Okay, so I think we're at peace with these guys right now, or there's some sort of truce, so we can't really do anything. But maybe if we go northward here and not make the same mistake as I did the last time. Look at Fez is its own thing here. I mean, we can, I think we're large enough to kind of beat anybody. I do want them to raise their armies though. Okay, so we captured her. Maybe we can use her for ransom because we want to create the kingdom as well. At the end of the field exercise, it had seemed a brilliant idea to practice regrouping an army in disarray. I split my troops and ordered every officer to independently make their way to Wadat. Of course, by the third day of waiting, but with only half of my army in place, I am now seeing flaws in the plan. Sheikh Wataz suggests I ride out with a contingent of Faris to find the missing troops while the rest of this army returns home. This will be an exciting search. I'm gonna rule by divine right, and I want that. Approaching a lake, I spot a camp pitch on its shores. As I enter, I am met by the sergeant in charge. My lord, our water stores leaked while on the move, and our pack animals cannot make the march home without more water than we currently have. The soldier looks at me nervously. If the lord and his Faris helped carry water skins, however, the men will march, and they will march now. Obstinate. Those were the orders I gave, so do not oppose me. We're capturing some, you can see here, we're getting some prisoners here. She was, I think, ransomed. It is a valuable exercise after all. The last of my troops have made it back to Wadan, and order has been restored. Alright. My son and heir, Al-Athir, is unusually calm child. When the others play their wild games, Al-Athir often withdraws to some silent corner. He does not speak a lot, but I can tell he's always thinking about something. Wow, he's a philosopher already. Educate the child. And let's look at the sum of all skills and see. Arbitrary, generous, brave. Maybe I can teach him. How much money do we have so far? That's 70 ducats. That's awesome. Ransom, absolutely. And Bellum Justum for later wars. So we captured this guy. And I mean, they wouldn't want him anyways, so there's a courtier. And there we go. They grew up so fast. So that's my daughter. I'm proud that my daughter is no longer a child. And now I'm officially married to this person who gives me an alliance with one of my own. Where is she? Okay, no, not really. Who's okay? So I must have missed that. All right. Anyways, cool. I see these guys here. Maybe I can attack them. Get some prestige going as well. And look at that. Now we have enough for legacy. We're gonna go warfare. It's gonna give us +2 prowess, knight effectiveness, +15. I didn't even get that victory because they disbanded in the middle of the fight. I don't get that. Okay. Anyways, I think I should go back to my realms and bring back that money that we got, because we're gonna wanna. Oh wow, look at that. Look at the casualties we took. My son and heir Al-Athir and I are walking out in Baghdad when we come across some local scholars. What are we doing all the way in Baghdad? Greetings, Emir Al-Athir. Greetings, your lord. There's an antecedent and ongoing discussion. Would either of you like to join? Go ahead, Al-Athir. So this kid is already like apparently a brainchild. There's a faction against me that disbanded. We bring back some money. And let's see what titles we can create. Well, we can create a second duchy. And now I can create the kingdom of Anvia. So here we are finally a king now. So we've risen the ranks. We can convert, actually, and we should be converting the face of our capital here. So we're gonna convert here, and the next step is, I believe, to subjugate these guys, but they are currently superior. So that's gonna take a while. Maybe I might have to wait for their alliances to wane, or I can call upon every single ally I have. I mean, let me see. Would I be able to form an alliance with Ghana? No. Different faith, -1,000. He does not allow for polygamous, so he would not want his family member to be part of that kind of environment, and so we cannot actually do that. But what we can do is pump more into camel riders. It's gonna be it's good in deserts, or maybe perhaps more bowmen. So another daughter coming of age, and so the 2 twins that we had have come to age, and now I think we actually will probably have to we're probably gonna have to start expanding very soon. I'm not gonna go to war, although I can go and fight with Ghana here, although my intention is to go northward, right? I don't want to be kind of controlling territory to the south here and having to convert and everything. I think everything I'm going to do is kind of upwards at this point, and I do want those 2 religious holy sites. So they're far away still, and we can probably just subjugate these folks here instead. Or what about these guys? I mean, if I try to murder him, oh, it's high. Maybe if I murdered him and then he no longer had any allies, I could perhaps subjugate him. And then there you go. You have, you know, and then I'm on the borders with the Idrisids, and then I can go and attack them later on. Let me see. Can I declare war on them? I absolutely can. But it would be kind of ugly to have that sort of border gore here. So let's wait and see. And in the meantime, we go maybe for another raid to bring back some more money. Let me see. And invest as well. Let's see an Azuki here. Maybe increase or upgrade the market. Now, I could be actually making more piety, but that's because I'm not actually married enough. So I'm gonna use marriages for prestige gain actually, and because I'm not practicing polygamy, I lose devotion. So why not? I mean, let me see. Why not get myself some prestige? Apparently, this Mosque of Xabi here. I'm not going to get prestige, but I do get more piety. You get a penalty for not actually, practicing, again, polygamy. So it kind of sucks here. Maybe let's see, congenital traits. Oh, wow. She comes with a small and vastly inferior alliance, but why not? What if, for example, they get you a kid that's, pretty awesome? So who are they at war with? They're actually conquering this area here. So whoa, I got the smallpox. Send for a physician now. Apparently, Cero seems enthusiastic, if nothing else. It's too late for caution. Oh my god, it's been a botched operation and now I'm one-legged. We all knew the risks. You are forgiven. So I'm on the verge of death here. And there you go. He's dead. So the character is dead here. Amir al-Umara al-Athir, the first of Anvia, has crossed the door to the world of spirits. At 57 years of age, he died from smallpox. A man not to be trifled with, he embodied the dignity and power of his title like few rulers can. Amir al-Umara al-Athir ascends to the throne, having mastered many skills. He is sure to be admired by his subjects. Continue as Amir al-Umara al-Athir II. I have more hopes about this kid, actually. He seems like a ruler with some solid potential. But we need, obviously, kids, and otherwise, if he dies, then the dynasty is all over with. It's completely done. Finally, we can rest and mourn. And so the next objective is making sure that we have an heir. Otherwise, the dynasty is not, right? So, polygamy is going to help. We're going to have to use, take advantage of that to ensure that the succession can keep going on. We left this kid, his brother, rot in jail in Ghana, in Tagant more specifically, under this character, who died from malnourishment not long ago. So this guy was an enemy of ours. And so, again, this is a new character. It's pretty cool. I like this, the way that this story is going. His father left him a kingdom and was the first Almohad dynast. But now we need to become caliph as well, and we need these two counties that have these two holy sites. And so it's going to require some, expansion forward. So I think we can pull it off. And so that's kind of what I'm going to go aim at in the next episode. So for now, I think I'm going to end it and come back with more content. I'm really liking this playthrough and see where it takes us next. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.